two, uno. We are live. Good
Oh
afternoon,
no,
everybody. It's the summer. It's so warm, and we're so happy to have you here with us on YouTube.
I
I am.
am the Catr.
Oh, hey, there you go. I am the Kenard. A long time ago, in a world long forgotten by time, we went to a school called the Broadcasting Institute of Maryland, and every student was known, therefore, as Bimmers, of which we are the two. Today's episode, much like last
The only two,
episode,
yeah.
oh my god. We have two particular links you can cast your attention to. One you
Uh-huh.
can send money to, one you can just read. I figured this time, in honor of it being Pride Month, I'd feature a comic about trans motherhood. It's called Baron. You can read it on the nib.com, and I want to make sure I reference the author. My computer's being slow. The author is Test. Let me see if I can say this correctly. Silapati. It's Cilipoti. Tess, I wanted to feature your comic on today's episode. I hope you're having a wonderful afternoon. I also want to shout out a young trans mother of a 5-year-old who needs help with bills, groceries. I'm going to list her. I'm going to shout out her Cash App and her Venmo. I saw it on Twitter this morning, and I've been there where you can't really afford to go to the grocery store. You have to go to food banks or rely upon like friends and family to help you out. So in case that may not be the case, you can go on Venmo to Empress 54. That's EMPRESS by 4. And on Cash App with the cash tag PureSoul73, PureSoul73. Michael Catr, hello, my friend. How are you?
Good. My music reference is plain white tees
Ha, not bad.
without the S.
That's
Um,
funny. They're an okay band, I guess. Not to be shady,
play,
but they're all right.
I'm a solo member from that group, so
Yeah, they've had quite a few great songs grace the charts, if you will. I also want to edit a mistake I made in last week's episode or last
how
time you were
dare
here.
you make a mistake? What is
I,
it?
I am human. You know how it goes. I mentioned how we were going to talk about the top 20 songs from the Billboard Top 200. And I chose the wrong chart because the Billboard 200 is a chart for albums. We
Well,
don't have
then you
time to
were
like discuss 20
leading me
albums in one
wrong because
episode. Say what?
you were leading me wrong.
Wow.
You're going to give me crap.
Oh, I am. Oh, I most certainly am. And I'm gonna get to that right this minute.
But
Nah, nah, nah. Don't
why?
make listen. My
But
my
you
mistake.
steered me in the wrong direction.
My mistake. Oh my goodness. No, and I'll tell you why I didn't lead you in
I
the wrong
get the
direction.
a tit for tat, brother.
No, and I'll tell you why I didn't lead you in the wrong direction. Because if I had, I would have given you all 20 of those albums. But instead, I still gave you the correct 20 songs from a different chart. The chart I should have
Okay.
said was the Billboard Hot 100 because that is what that's how that's the chart that everybody focuses on. And so
Well,
we
the,
have
the answer is I didn't do my homework. I started to listen to the baby, but didn't
but
really do much.
you didn't even finish the song.
I did, but did I really pay much attention to it? Not really. I
Well,
heard some of the lyrics. Um, I heard the yeah, I heard some of the lyrics. I heard the very beginning. There's an acoustic guitar in the beginning. So I will do better next time.
yeah, you have at least till early July to finish last week's assignment. I'm gonna go ahead and list all 20 songs that are like on the top of the charts from number 20 all the way to number 1 on June 16th. I also have the chart for today's top 20. There are 3 new entries in the chart. So from June 16th, from episode 12, the top 20 songs in the world, according to Billboard, are Stuck With You by Ariana Grande and Justin Bieber, Sunday Best by Surfaces, I Hope by Gabby Barrett, Falling by Trevor Daniel, What's Poppin' by Jack Harlow, Life Is Good by Future and Drake, Adore You by Harry Styles, The Bones by Maren Morris, Blueberry Fago by Lil Mosey, Circles by Post Malone, Rain on Me by Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande, The Box by Roddy Rich, Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa, Roses by St. John, Tootsie Slide by Drake, Intentions by Justin Bieber and Quavo, Say So by Doja Cat and Nicki Minaj, Blinding Lights by The Weeknd, Savage by Megan Thee Stallion and Beyonce, and Rockstar by DaBaby and Roddy Ricch.
Well, guess what?
What?
I realized yesterday I already did some of my homework.
Oh, really?
Because without realizing it, I'll give myself some credit. I did the homework because a few episodes ago, you recommended that I listen to the song by Roddy Ricch.
Yeah, the
so
box.
I did
Yeah,
really.
I sure did. I remember that.
So, haha.
Nah. You aren't getting off easy for starting one song and already knowing another of them. You still have 18. You still like what?
Tone it down a little bit.
Yeah. You have exactly. Let me see. Math is hard. You have like 21 songs to go, my friend, but you also have like about a week to listen to them. So you usually do like about 3 songs a day.
Right here, I've been drinking.
Listen,
Drinking on the job.
I got my beverage too, man. Drink more water. That's what
It's 6 o'clock somewhere.
Literally, it's 6 o'clock right now. The heck?
6:11. Yeah. Cool.
All right. So the new.
You wanted to start with my topics.
I did, but now we're here, so we might as well get it out of the way. I won't waste too much time, especially if I haven't done the dang assignment. I wanted to reference today's chart. There are 3 new entries to this chart. I'm stalling for time because the internet is being a bit of a jerk. No pressure. Come on, baby, you can do this. I wanted to shed some light on one of the more controversial entries to the list. One Daniel Hernandez, aka Tekashi 69. I'm not a journalist, I'm not a reporter, so I'm not unbiased. I'm extremely biased, and one might say I'm extremely biased against one Mr. Daniel Hernandez. Not because he's a non-black person using the N-word or anything like that, or the fact that he snitched on the members of his gang to avoid jail time. No. My biggest problem with Mr. Daniel Hernandez is that he was found guilty of a federal sexual crime, which I will not talk about on the show, not to make anybody uncomfortable, but you can find it on, what's that website called? Wikipedia. I will be referencing that in today's notes. Yeah, clearly. Number 1 on the charts right now, June 25th, is Trolls by Daniel Hernandez and Nicki Minaj. Number 3 on the list is The Bigger Picture by Lil Baby. And the third new entry to the top 20 on the Hot 100 list, I'm scrolling down because I didn't make reference of the actual number until now. Where are you? I know you're here somewhere. Scroll. I think it's in the bottom. Is it? Yeah. And number 19 on the list is Watermelon Sugar by one Harry Styles of One Direction fame. I gotta say, according to
from his second album.
Yeah. I'm happy to see that Harry is flourishing. Most of his other brothers in that band aren't doing a whole lot besides like Niall and Zayn. But I'm not too keen on what they do. Niall's pretty good though. I didn't care much for Slow Hands, but Nice to Meet You is kind of confident. You know, if you want to like a little pep to your step. Real quick, I want to briefly go over the songs from the 16th of June. This way, for good housekeeping's sake. I didn't care for Rockstar by DaBaby. I'm a fan of Savage by Megan and Beyonce. And fun fact, if you listen to it, you're donating to charity, which is always good. Blinding Lights. If you love 80s nostalgia, you'll really like this song, but I kind of have an issue with The Weeknd in general, so I gave it a dislike just to, keep it on brand. I'll discuss if Blinding Lights still finds itself in the top 20 by episode 20. I'll explain why I have such an issue with him. But if you're a bisexual, you probably know why I have such an issue with Mr. Abel. But I'll worry about that another time. Number 4, Say So with Doja and Nicki. Didn't care for that one either because I found that the producer is the same person responsible for abusing Kesha all her career. So I'm like, this leaves a bad taste in my mouth. And if you love that sort of like Soul Train era music, you'll probably like this. But again, had to give that a dislike just for, it's the principle of the thing for me personally. Number 5 with Intentions by Quavo and Biebs. A little too cheesy for me. Plus, Biebs is had a bit of a sticky situation, which I'll discuss later in the show. Song 6 is Tootsie Slide by Drake, and I'm not a fan of how he manufactured a hit just so it could trend on social media. And I don't think that the Tootsie Slide is a really fun dance like the Cupid Shuffle or like the Electric Slide. So that got a dislike. Not a big fan of Aubrey Graham here over here. Roses by St. John. Fun fact, that song is 3 years old, but the remix of that song, which is super popular on TikTok, put it on the charts. So I'm super happy for St. John. Like he's a new artist. Like one of my friends from Baltimore really loves his work. Number eight, yeah, number eight. Don't Start
St.
Now by
John
Dua
is
Lipa.
from Baltimore.
I don't know where St. John is from, but I know that I have a very close friend of mine who lives in Baltimore and loves his music. She was playing him on a road trip when we were
Is she
coming back
friends
from the
with him?
mountains. No, but like just like before my friend played him in her car, like I never heard of him before. I would still say that he's like a bubbling artist, not necessarily underground, but like enough to where like he can chart twice and not know who he is. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
We have Don't Start Now by Dua Lipa. You know, she's already a big deal because of songs like New Rules, which cracked 1 billion relatively fast on YouTube. If you love going to like the dance club, you'll love songs like Don't Start Now. I gave Dua Lipa a like, obviously. I gave the box a dislike, only because would I listen to this song if it wasn't such a popular song? I don't think that I would. I'm more of a fan of this song, Ballin' with DJ Mustard. Personally, I have to give the rest of the album a listen. I love the album title, like please excuse me for being antisocial. It's like it's so polite. How can you be mad at such a thing, you know?
Uh,
Number 10, Rain on Me with Gaga and Ariana. I I struggle with this one. I'm like, do I really like this? And the question is yes. Like, I'm a sucker for like cheesy house tunes. Like, I love Daft Punk. I love Justice. Like, it hit all the right buttons for me. Even though I know that, like, again, like Gaga, Ariana, a couple of controversial artists, depending on who you ask.
uh,
Number 11, Circles by Post Malone. Again, another artist who's like a bit of a mixed bag for a lot of people. This is a song I love to sing at karaoke once it opens up again. I love this song. Maybe
yeah, you said last episode you can't wait till karaoke comes back.
and Circles and Post Malone is one of those reasons, you know. Like it's a bit of he kind of makes music for jocks, but like if you're a sad person, like you enjoy really emo music, it'll hit all the right buttons for you. You know what I'm saying? Like Todd in the Shadows, a really critically acclaimed YouTuber, he said that when he listens to it, it's like he's riding on a mountainside with a nice car with a beautiful woman next to him, and I can understand why he'd feel that way. And when you listen to it, maybe you'll understand. Number 12,
No,
Blueberry
I think,
Faygo
yeah.
by Lil Mosey. Lil Mosey was on the 2019 XXL freshman list for rappers, and he had a really like underperforming freestyle. And the song has a catchy hook, and Lyrical Lemonade did the music video. So if you enjoy new school rapper videos, you'll probably enjoy that. But I found that it's a little repetitive, and I'm a person who loves like electronic music and like looped music, but I didn't. It felt a little annoying, so gave that a dislike. I'm hoping he can maintain that what's the word energy and make
Momentum.
get a second song on the charts maybe. Number 13, With the Bones by Maren Morris. Country music and I have a very complicated relationship, but it's like it hits the right amount of like cheesy for me. So that's a keeper.
Is it
Plus,
like
there's
the
a
same kind of relationships that Taylor Swift has?
and like I don't want to take. I'm not going to take this opportunity to pick on Taylor Swift because that would be too easy. I don't punch down. I punch up. So
Okay.
I'll get back to Swift at another time when it's more
Okay.
appropriate to do so. Because if we're being honest here, despite the things that annoy me about her, she's a good writer. That's why she's so successful. And I can say the same about Maren Morris. She's had about 3 songs hit the charts in a really good, high level. This being the third, I believe. Plus, there's a version with Hosier on there, famous for the "Take Me to Church" song.
Yeah.
Number 14, Adore You by Harry Styles. I hear it at work all the time. I hear it in all the big box stores. It's an okay song. It's nice. It has to give you a nice warm fuzzy feeling, and the video is cute. Life is Good by Future and Drake. Um, this song to me establishes all that I dislike about their music. You know, it almost feels like Life is Good is a song where it didn't feel like they were trying too hard, and when you've listened to them as long as I have, you kind of have an expectation for the production that they use and the kind of cadences that they use for the bars. So, didn't care too much for this one. Welcome. Listen, I have a quote from Andre 3000 about Future. I'm gonna save for later because it makes me laugh, and it's kind of unfortunate that it does. We have What's Poppin' by Jack Harlow, number 16. He's a new white rapper. He's been around for a little while, but I never paid attention to him until now because he's starting to chart in a significant way, in the way that like a G-Eazy or a Machine Gun Kelly would. Not, it doesn't really do much for me, but it shows that he's competent at what he does. Like for me, it's like he's setting the bar super low. So I love for him to impress me with his lyricism because he kind of hits all the same notes that most dudes his age will do. You know, like he's has a lot of money, he's successful, like he's attractive, girls like him. Maybe he'll do some drugs. Who knows? There's even a remix that came out with Tory Lanez, The Baby, and Lil Wayne on it, but I didn't care for that one either. Number 17, Falling by Trevor Daniel. I don't know
Oh,
who the heck
you're
this.
really rubbing it in. You're adding songs that aren't even on the list just to show that I didn't do my homework.
No, I'm not trying to rub salt in your wound. I promise. I sincerely promise.
I have
Um,
some wounds from mosquitoes, so.
oh well, that makes two of us. Let me tell you. Number 17 is Falling by Trevor Daniel. Didn't care for this one. Dude gives me like a poor man's Juice World, may he rest in peace vibe. So nah, like I don't want him. I don't want people who want to make like urban sounding music to just like ride the wave for quick clout. And I'll come back to that urban title when we talk about the Grammys later. 18 is I Hope by Gabby Barrett. I didn't know who this young lady was, but I heard that she was on American Idol recently, which I haven't watched for quite some time. This song reminds me of what I don't like about modern country. Like, it's a song about a guy who she used to love but no longer loves, and it's kind of like I hope that your new love treats you well, but I also hope that she cheats on you like me. And I'm like, yeah, you go, girl, but would I listen to it if it wasn't homework? Nah, I don't think that I would. Um, Number 19, Sunday Best by Surfaces. It's very in that meh tier. That's all I really have to say about. Very unoffensive. A lot of it's something you'll probably hear when you go to like a clothing store like Macy's or Sears or something like that. And
Uh-huh.
finally, with Stuck With You by Ariana and Justin. It feels a little like I kind of wish that he had more songs like this on his new project, but it's a little it hits that like too cheesy button for me. But again, ooh, belch.
You
If you
like
listen
cheesy
to
stuff.
what's that?
I said you like cheesy stuff.
I do, but like it's a little too cheesy for me. But
Oh,
if you listen
even
to
more
it,
too cheesy for the Kenard.
listen, there are a lot of things too cheesy for me. Let me tell you. If you listen to this song "Stuck with You" by Ariana and Justin, you'll be raising money for charity, much like Savage. So there's that. We'll have more.
What charity is that song for?
I don't actually remember. So when you listen to it next episode, episode 14, we can discuss that. We can mention that specific charity as one of the charities we referenced at the top of the show.
And it sort of segues into a subject because I saw you wanted to talk about Bieber.
You want to talk about that now?
No. Just saying it is relevant that you. I mean, if you want to.
Let's just get it out of the way.
Okay.
One morning I'm going to work. I'm in the lift. I hit the group chat, and a friend of mine says, "Yo, Justin is canceled." And I'm like, "Oh, what? What for?" And I hop on Twitter, and I see a couple of testimonies from some fans that accuse Justin of some like Me Too crimes. You know what I'm saying? Don't want to go into specifics. Don't want to like make anybody uncomfortable who might watch this later. But once I read like one of the accounts, I'm like, well, that's it for me. No more Justin Bieber. Period. And I mentioned it to my siblings. I mentioned it to some friends. But later that night, my sister sent me something in our group chat, like, yo, like Justin had like receipts for the fact that these crimes didn't take place. And then I saw a whole narrative about how, oh, like these false accounts could have ruined his career and stuff like that. And it annoyed me because a man like Justin, he has like the financial stability to move on past like a cancellation. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like I just don't want like it's there are a lot of people who want to like oh poor Justin, he's having such a hard time. It's like yeah, he is having a hard time. Like there's like a medical difficulty going on in his life. Like he's been like famous
Can
since
you
he was
tell us more
12,
about
which
that?
say what?
the medical. I did not hear about that. Can you
I
tell us more
believe
about that?
I have to confirm it with a Google search, but like I believe Justin Bieber has Lyme's disease, if I'm not
Oh,
mistaken. And that's a pretty frightening disease. My mom had it, and like a former friend of mine, her father had it as well. But like in addition to that, like being, having your own form of PTSD of being famous, like you have the resources after all these years to like really take care of these things. But based on the way that he behaves in the public with the new music and stuff, it doesn't seem like that's really like a focus of him. And that's just how I see it. So I'm just like, Justin Bieber doesn't need like the regular person to just like take up for him. You know what I'm saying? He'll be fine. Like he just got married, goes to church, a church I don't really like, and like he has a large like support system that most folks will never have. So I'm just like, I'm not. Let's not focus on him. Let's focus on folks who really need the support when things like this nature take place. I'll put all like the explicit details of what went down in the description of this episode. I'm just like, hey man, like sucks to suck, but like like a responsible adult knows what needs to be done to like handle their business, and you don't get to act like a little kid anymore just because you're still cute and like popular and stuff. That's all I really wanted to say about that. Maybe I didn't really do the best job of explaining how I felt. And once you like do your own research, like even based on the links I'll drop, you'll see people who are way more like intelligent than me like describe how I feel. So let's move on from there. I've been talking for like at least 20 minutes. Mr. Catr, you have the floor. What's going on in your realm? Tell us about your iTunes saga, if you will.
um, well, I did explain that I ended up solving it because, I mean, not for good, but I found it's a little bit of a out of the way thing to do. I told you that when I would buy an album on iTunes or buy a song, it's only really happened with albums. Um, but the album, I'll put it over into a playlist
Yeah.
and get ready to burn it. And it'll be like, whatever, a little scenario. We'll just make up a scenario that it's 15 tracks deep,
Mm-hmm.
and the CD pops out and it shows 12 tracks. What happened to the three other tracks? Should I say 13 other tracks? And so then now I'm not wasting that time anymore, because the reason that happened is those songs were not, I guess, downloaded properly. So now what I have to do, which I never had to do before, this is for people that didn't see last episode.
Uh huh.
I never had this issue before. I really never did.
I
What
believe you.
happened? What happened that caused this to happen now is the great unknown. So now when I buy an album, before I put it on the disc, I have to play each song. If I can hear it, and and something I didn't mention last episode is something has to do with the authorization, I think. But
Yeah.
then I go to authorize it, it still won't play. So I have to go to the store, go back to the store, and have to go back and re-download it. And I've had this happen where it I re-download it and it still doesn't play. So I have to go back and then re-download it, and then it works. That's only happened once where I re-downloaded it and it didn't work. But I'm not making that mistake again of wasting a disc until I know all those songs are going to show up on the CD. So that great unknown is what I've been dealing with since December last year, I guess. And yeah, I still support iTunes and the iTunes store because the library is just called I iTunes. The store is iTunes Store. So I know, and I've probably stated this in a previous episode. I know iTunes isn't the I'm going to botch this one all be all um, for music source. Um, Wikipedia isn't, but anyway,
Wow.
no,
Wow.
because I know I've looked at a collection. I can think of one artist that I'm thinking of right now. I've looked at their collection, and I know there are CDs that are not on iTunes that are from this artist. So um, I don't know if there is a definitive music source on the internet.
There is not.
Uh, there isn't, and you just have to like I guess a few different ones. Um, I wish
Ooh.
I
Oh, you know
wish
what?
it was perfect, and there was that one site because I would be on there on a heartbeat.
Ooh,
But
ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh,
it
ooh, ooh.
is what it is. That's what people say.
Ooh,
So
ooh, ooh. Ooh, Mr. Friedman.
what?
Pick me, pick me. All
Oh,
right.
you, hey.
Oh my gosh. The one like the best source for music, right? When you want to like buy it or download it or stream it, you know what the best source is?
Hmm.
You do? What is it?
I mean, uh huh. I'm waiting for your answer.
I'm picking up. That was mean. Okay,
Sorry.
the best source is the artist.
Oh, well, here. That actually, thank you for bringing that up. That
I
brings
will.
me
You're welcome.
to another subject I had thought about, and
Oh,
that's the beauty, I guess, of of doing this, just talking. Um, is it brings up it triggers other things. So my question is, and talks about the music business,
mm-hmm.
like I've had this discussion with someone before.
All right.
If you there are artists that are doing well for themselves. I mean, now during this period, it's kind of hard with the you call it Miss Rona, right?
Miss Rona.
Miss Rona, shout out. No, not a shout out to
No
Miss
shout out to
Rona.
Miss Rona. Miss Rona, please leave. Like,
Leave, get the heck out of here.
please
I
leave, Miss
want to.
Rona.
I'm tired of breathing in my own breath. Um, anyway, so and an 8 hour shift. But anyway, um,
Oof.
on Miss Rhoda's making it hard for even I don't know, maybe some of the really popular, the Springsteens and the I'm sure they're doing well in the bank account even with Miss Rona happening. And plus Mr. Springsteen can finally get his sleep because he's not putting on marathon concerts. Anyway, if if I bought a CD because I still like the physical aspect of having a CD. Don't know
Sure.
why. I don't know why, but I have lots of CDs, and um, so like I'll when I I started this. I don't know 5 6 years ago. I decided that if there is an album only on iTunes, then I might buy it. If there is, and I've mentioned this on an episode, if it's a digital only release, I'll buy it from an artist. Um, but that's really it for buying on iTunes. But then I started wondering, should I? I mean, I don't really ever want to think about this. Eventually, CDs are going to be obsolete, and they keep saying that. I don't
I
know when
doubt
that.
it.
What's that?
I doubt it.
Um, Anyway, so my question is, like, when do you buy? Well, if I bought a physical CD, um, instead of going to a store, could I? When should I buy from their website?
Well, I think the best way, well, considering all the local bands that I know, like you don't want to like. I don't think that personally, I wouldn't suggest that an artist like put out CDs until they have like some serious like distribution money. You know what I mean? Because like say like I start making music and I have a lot of fans in Norway for some reason, which is great, but like they're all the way in Norway. How on earth am I going to be able to afford like say I'm still working at Lowe's, I have one successful album and like I have people from Norway like, yo, we really want to get the vinyl for this album to play in our homes. Yo, I want to play like I want to hear like the CD quality in my car. I have to then like pay out of pocket to like get the album pressed to like physical format. Nah, like a regular schmegular person like myself, it's gonna go like straight to digital. You know, so if you want to like support like your local folk, if they're not working with some serious like distributors, like you gotta buy digital. Like the, I feel like that's like the most significant. With my limited knowledge, that's what I would suggest. Like, oh, if you want to buy local, like you gotta buy digital, because otherwise, I feel like a band would bankrupt themselves trying to press their own music. You know, unless like they're
The
working with a company
cost.
that's like working directly to support what they're doing. You know.
Yeah. So you're saying local people would get a better income stream through digital music.
Not
Um,
necessarily like I'm not saying that like it's like the best way to make money because like you'd have to be someone like a Bieber or a Migos or like a like a Kiss for that to be a thing or even a Metallica for that matter or something like that. I'm just saying like if you are dead set on purchasing a CD, like you'll probably only have that success with like mid tier bands. Like folks who are just like operating on a DIY ethic will not have like the time to really press more than maybe 100 CDs at a time. Hell, maybe even 10 if like with really good quality. You know what I'm saying? Like album case and all that good stuff.
uh,
I
um,
remember I was watching a YouTuber who was like making his own music, but he was just like burning the CDs in his car, like real, just like getting it out the mud. You know what I mean? But like, if, as a person who like really be buying music like that, like I was about to, I thought your question would be like, oh, when do I stop buying from iTunes? Because like, I already know what I was going to say to that, which I said last episode.
yeah. Um, so so that's my thing on iTunes.
The saga continues.
Yeah, the saga continues. I let's switch over to so I should I do that one? That
What
actually
one?
wasn't the first topic, but
I know.
and I said I wanted to address them in a certain order, but that's okay. Uh, well, let's do the because I have it up, and you have to bear with me. I started. Um, that's my fault.
Oh,
So that
what was
I
that?
started. I read you the list. This is my favorite kind of list, not top 20, but dig top 10 revealed from Access TV.
Hmm.
Um, and I don't see your face after I made that dig. I'm kidding. Um,
It's cool.
I mean, I
I know
can't
you're
see your
sick.
face, but
I
I'm
can see
just
yours. It's cool.
I'm jostling with you because I'm actually on Access TV's website
That's what I heard.
because I read you the top 10 yacht rock songs,
Uh huh.
and my bad because I did not finish the job. And also, the feature that I've mentioned last episode and maybe previous episodes, they do songs if the list was longer, if the
Yeah.
list was 15, I don't
You
know.
mentioned that. You mentioned
And
that. Yes, last episode.
what's that?
You mentioned that last episode.
I did, but I didn't. I'm giving the viewers a disservice by not helping them out and telling them the songs if the list was longer. Um, I,
Oh,
but I did read you the top 10 yacht rock songs, but I didn't do if you know they call them bonus tracks or if the list was longer. So I want to reveal it. Um, and so this is actually, I pulled up the wrong thing. Um, but let me see why did that do that? This isn't what I wanted. So let's since I'm now I can't even think. Since I'm kind of wasting time here to
No, it's
try
okay. These things happen.
as we're trying, but I will to help the viewers. Here's where you can go to find out about top 10 revealed. So access.tv, and then you go on the left under their big logo, shows. And when you go to shows, they have shows. They play a show that used to be on a channel that I'm very vaguely familiar with called Palladium. But there's a show live from Daryl's house, which is Daryl Hall from Hall and Oates. Um, and they also, I just found out about this a couple weeks. They're now playing the Ozzy Osbourne and his son Jack show called World Detour.
Never heard of that
Um,
before.
yeah, that was on a different channel before. The big interview, which I've talked about before with Dan Rather, is on there. But the one that we're talking about is on the second to last row, even though the last row is only one item. You don't call that a row, I guess. But anyway, the top 10 revealed, and it's hosted by Katie Darrell, who you backed me up as my researcher um, a few episodes ago.
Yeah,
And
looked her up on
she
Wikipedia.
did, she did host a show about tribute bands that had tribute bands. I think it's called the World's Greatest Tribute Bands. But you, as my researcher, did did the due diligence. I don't care if it was Wikipedia because it was actually right. Um, and then she moved on to a show called the Top 10 Revealed. And once you click on there, um, I can't speak. Let me see. So if you click it on the mobile, if you pulling it up on mobile, at least on Apple phones, you actually have to click it twice. The first time you click it, for some reason, it's like it acknowledges it that you inputted that, but then the second time it brings it up, and then you bring it up, and like right, the first thing you're going to see is well, the sneak peek for which I do not. I mentioned this a couple episodes. I do not like. I do not want to be told, given a hint at what song they should be calling it. Sneak hint. Um, and they it's pretty obvious what they're talking about, what song they're talking about, and so I don't want. I'm a musical person, a musical nerd, as you and I have called each other. And I do not want to be told what song might be on the list. I want to come up with the list in my head. Um, so I don't need any help. So, but after the video, after that, uh, I forgot what they call that when you see something for a YouTube video before you hit play, the screenshot underneath
The
it says
thumbnail.
thumbnail. That's it. Underneath it says the top 10 revealed, and then it says check out the season's lineup. And we just finished actually a new episode. I watched that on the 23rd. I think I watched it, and but anyway, June 14th was Yacht Rock, and if you go underneath that, it says sign up for email updates. And then it says you may also like, and each entry is related to the show, Top 10 Revealed. And then I guess if you go to see more blogs, eventually you're going to find where they wrote out the list of the top. Yeah, and they wrote out the list of. I think I found it. they wrote out the list of each episode, which is a first time for top 10 revealed. So, um, so again, once you bring that up, um, it brings up the list, and then it says underneath, I got it here. It says, what didn't make the list? Check out the bonus track. I'm not going to go back over the list of the original top 10. I can say check it out because I gave you the information on how to. I gave you a tutorial on how to do it. But if you play the video, so that's her talking right there, and hopefully that was enough where we don't get any trouble.
We're gonna get flagged. We're gonna run ads in this thing.
But now you know who Katie Darrell is. I hope I helped her profile a little bit. And so she starts talking, and so the first one is because they don't have this on a list. If the list was longer, they have it in video form.
You could have wrote them down, man.
What's that?
You could have wrote them down.
I don't know. Maybe that will be the thing for next year. They're slowly. I'm not. I don't want
them. Oh, not them. You.
What is it?
No, I'm not worried about them writing the list down. I'm worried about you writing the list down.
Oh, well, then maybe they'll hire me to do that for them. And I don't want to. I don't want to dog on them.
I'm dogging on you, Mike. You could have wrote that down in advance.
Yeah, I could have. I could have listened to 20 songs on the Billboard.
That's true. That's true.
So the first song. So one of the bonus songs is, let's see. I guess, yeah, the first one is Kokomo by the Beach Boys.
That should have been in the top 10.
Yeah, I've heard somebody say that before. The next song, I'm still watching thumbnails of girls jamming to that song. I guess pretty much any Beach Boys song would be yacht rock. So the next song is called Son of a Sailor by Jimmy Buffett.
Again, that should have been in the top 10. Why is it not in the top 10?
And let's see. The next song, I don't know if they have a certain number every time for the bonus. If it's like 5, and then they would have to have a spinoff show called the Bonus Songs, the top 5 bonus songs of a show that we already have on Access TV. Let's see. I keep seeing Jimmy Buffett. I don't want to see any more Jimmy Buffett. This guy. Oh, you definitely are going to say this one. I can't read it because it has the label on it, but Rupert Holmes, the Pina Colada song, Escape. If you like Pina, don't make me sing, please.
I didn't make you anything. I know the song. I think it sucks.
He's dressed in this video like he's going to go on a boat after the show.
There you go. All the more reason, I guess.
And who is this guy? Yeah. I think I remember this from a radio station where I was employed, not employed, interned at. And I hate to end things with "at," but I did. Thunder Island by Jay Ferguson. Do you know that one?
I don't actually.
Do. Don't make me even.
No, it's okay. You don't have to actually sing it, but somebody tell me about it. Describe what it's like.
Well, it talks about canoodling.
I see.
And I guess Jay Ferguson had a romantic relationship, and he wanted to preserve that memory for all time and put it on wax. And now we get to hear about him doing that on Thunder Island. I don't know if Thunder Island's a real place. You can, as my researcher, do it for me if you want.
Whoa. But I'm the show's researcher, not just yours.
Yeah, so Uh, you know what, Jay Ferguson? TMI. There should be something in between Thunder Island, TMI, Thunder Island, TMI. So the next song, we're moving on. No more about Jay Ferguson. We're giving him too much time when he was a one-hit wonder. No, I'm not dogging on one-hit wonders. And I kind of like the song. It's kind of catchy. But that's a lost gem from the 70s. And you know what? That's it. So it's Kokomo, son of a sailor. Whew. Can I say that 5 times fast? After that was the Escape Pina Colada song. Nobody ever remembers the Escape part. They just remember the Pina Colada song for that line. If you like drinking, getting caught in the rain, whatever. And then Thunder Island. So you and I agree that Kokomo should have been on the Yacht Rock. And I guess son of a sailor. But when you think of Jimmy Buffett, I'm sorry, but all I think of is Margaritaville and Cheeseburger in Paradise. Those are my 2 songs from there.
2 songs I've never heard before.
What song?
The ones you just said.
You haven't heard of those 2 songs. You know his claim to fame.
I know the songs by name. I know them by name, but I never heard them before.
Yeah, because he has an establishment. There's at least used to be one in Maryland, a Cheeseburger in Paradise. I never went because I'm not a fan of cheeseburgers.
Seriously?
Seriously. Unless it's, which, I never thought of as a cheeseburger, but it is a cheeseburger. Usually when you think of cheeseburgers, you think of American cheese. But I like burgers with blue cheese on them.
That's a cheeseburger.
Not really. What's that?
That is a cheeseburger.
Yeah, you don't really think of that, but it is. But have you ever had a blue cheeseburger?
To be honest, I'm not too keen on the flavor, but
it's called black and blue.
Yeah, I've seen. I'm not too keen on that particular. It's a very vivid flavor that I'm not too keen on.
Now, if he serves black and blue burgers you can look that up for me as my researcher on his menu. I would research everything for me. No, I'm kidding.
No.
So anyway, those are the songs that were if the list was longer. And my other topics, I think I had.
You have an update on your positive playlist that you're making with your bro?
Yeah, that's you know what, I was thinking about it today. I was gonna when we talked yesterday, I was gonna add some more songs in this episode. Talk about some more songs that are positive songs. I'm stalling because I can't think of them, and I was thinking about them today.
You write them down, huh?
I did, and I don't know where that is, but the song I'm stalling right now. The songs that we mentioned last time, or you mentioned a song actually. It was something about when tragedy happens. I don't remember. It was kind of a long title.
Yeah, The Endless Knot by Haken.
What's the song called?
The Endless Knot by Haken.
No, this wasn't it. It was about.
It totally was though, because the line you're referring to is it takes a tragedy to make us one. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were saying that was the title.
Oh no, the song is called The Endless Knot.
Okay.
That's the reason why I brought it up though, because I feel like the lyrical themes of that song are kind of directly tied to a situation like a COVID-19 situation. You know.
Well, anyway, I mentioned last episode, "All You Need Is Love" by the Beatles. John Lennon, "Give Peace a Chance." I'll throw one in. It's just okay, yeah. I guess I'll mention that one. There's a song by Stephen Stills. This is one that I've added to the list. It's I guess his only hit. Obviously, Stephen Stills was part of the group Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Young, and sometimes without Young. But he did a solo song called "Love the One You're With."
Yeah, I've heard that song by name, but I'm not really familiar with the melodies or anything like that.
You once you hear it, you'll probably know it. But I
Hmm.
kind of have, now that I think about that, I have, unless you don't know that person real well. And look, I don't know. I still, we've been doing a lot of episodes, and I mean, we talked a little bit, and that's kind of the genesis music reference there. That's kind of the genesis. Our talks from school that kind of stem the idea of doing something music related. Um, but I don't I don't think we still know each other real well. And we haven't seen each other since BIM.
For years,
Um,
yeah.
so that thing where you say uh, you'll know it if you hear it, unless you know that person real well. But I'm going to guess that you would know that song when you hear it. So maybe that's some homework for you. Love the One You're With if you want to check that out. So that's another song that's added to the list. Um, Let me think of one more that I could add to the list. And I did mention last week "Walking on Sunshine" by Katrina and the Waves. I did mention, because that stemmed a little bit of research on my part, Matthew Wilder, "Break My Stride," and that the other song I would add is, let's just do the Stephen Stills for this week. Let's move on to the next topic, and we're going till 7:30, so we're almost a half an hour. Uh, we're almost into the half an hour part. But we'll say, let's talk about my last topic, which is disco and funk. Which side of the coin are you on? Which genre is your genre?
Let me ask you a question with your question. What made you wanted to bring up the two?
Well, those they were I mean, were they, you can answer my question. I'm going to ask you a question. Um, uh, I asked you a question, you answered it with a question, and I'm going to answer your question with a question. weren't weren't they at the time dueling with each other?
To be honest with you, I'm not that much of a music history nerd to answer that question correctly. All I know is that I would like to think that you can't have one without the other, but I would think that if I had to choose one, I definitely choose funk because I feel like funk can be like more versatile than disco. Because I feel like disco may be a little too happy for me, but with
And that's
funk, like
probably why I like it, because disc funk is. I would say disco is my favorite. I think funk is too hard. Is too hard, and
that's there you go. That's why I like funk more, honestly.
I don't want that kind that I don't like that kind of music. I guess. I mean, I do like metal. Um, and there is funk metal. um, so maybe that's why they combined, actually. Um, so yeah, that's probably why I thought this would issue a little bit more discussion here.
Well,
Maybe
if
I
I'll tell you one thing. It's like we can always do like a part two. Like since we both find ourselves on different sides of a coin here, we could always just like we've established like our ground. We can always come back to this on like say episode 15.
episode what?
15.
So what we could do is, as you mentioned, um, you're not much of a music historian. We
No.
we could do the research and find out if, when those genres were prominent, um, were they dueling? It seemed to me they were. I don't know, but I definitely side with disco and you're funk. So we know where we side, and that
You
is
know,
it. That is it for my issues. Now we are at the 7 o'clock mark, and we have 30 minutes to go.
yeah, like the live counter has us at about like 54 minutes, And we started a little late, but like who's counting? We're not on the clock. I will
Okay.
also say that it's like disco's fun. Like I do love to have fun. I feel like disco and funk can be fun in different ways, or maybe both, maybe in even similar ways. But if you had to like make me choose one, I would definitely choose funk, and I'll explain why on episode 15. Let's do a mini plug about episode 14. Our dear friend from episode 4, Mr. Aramade, will be leading us and hosting a variety of interesting topics in regards to music. I'm very interested in seeing his take on the top 40, seeing he has more of a hipsterish indie like taste himself. And speaking of like various taste makers, I want to go ahead and talk about this Grammys thing that's been on my mind. I
Yeah.
happened to be listening to The Read featuring Kid Fury and Crystal, and like their discussion got me so like emotional that I stopped what I was doing. I was doing the dishes, and I ran to my computer to tweet at the Grammys. Y'all are a bunch of squares. The Recording Academy, that is. I'm going to take off these sunglasses and put on my actual glasses to read what I'm about to say. I had to like find the information on one of my favorite platforms, NPR, National Public Radio. This article was written by one hold that thought. By Anastasia. I'm not gonna try to pronounce your last name because I feel like a jerk. I'm gonna say Miss Anastasia T. Thank you for writing this. It came out on June 10th, and it's called "The Grammys Changed Some Categories. Will they make any difference?" Let me tell you, my friend. Like I love the Grammys. They are my favorite award show. They're like the Super Bowl to me. I love to live tweet the Grammys, and more than that, I love to complain about the Grammys because they always seem to do something to make me irritated. And recently, when Tyler the Creator won last year earlier this year, he won the award for best hip hop album. Many people felt like he shouldn't have won that album, given the kind of like crossover appeal the music had. He himself said, "Gee, it feels like winning this album is like a way of the Grammys saying, we finally gave you one. Now shut up and go away." Personally, and he does as well, feel like he should have been nominated for like the pop album. And he felt that the urban title for some of the Grammy awards are kind of like them saying the N word without them saying it. Like very, very pandering, very like low key insulting. So as a result, they changed the name of one of the awards from like best urban to like progressive R&B. And
Oh yeah, I heard
honestly,
about that.
I'm okay about. I think that's an all right term. It's not that insulting because I can recall one of my favorite new artists, FKA Twigs, being offended at being called alternative R&B. You know what I mean? Like her style of music is very off the beaten path, out of left field, but she felt as if like her being called alt or R&B just put her away from like the legends like Anita Baker or an Erica Badu or like a Jill Scott and such like that. So I'm not too hung up on like the progressive R&B term, but I am hung up on the rules for the best new artist. And that's what I want to focus on for like the next 15 minutes or so. Like every time I watch, like I think the second to last award given out on every televised version of the Grammys is Best New Artist. And my personal rule, frankly, I don't think you should be allowed to win Best New Artist if you didn't come out, if you didn't start your professional career like that year. You can't win that award. Like I think the last person to win that award that annoyed me so much was Alessia Cara, and she came out with that Isaac Hayes sampling song here about like going to like a party and not really being comfortable or enjoying themselves. Loved that song. Went on to like at least two more songs syndicated nationally. She sang the "How Far I'll Go" from the Moana soundtrack, and "Scars to Your Beautiful." And those songs really
Yeah,
didn't do
I've
much.
heard that song at the retail job.
Yeah, like you hear it everywhere. And like I'm happy that like younger artists have the chance to be syndicated, but I don't think they really have a lot of staying power. But that's just me. I'm just like she got nominated for the award and won the award long after she became famous, and I'm just like, yo, she should have been nominated in 2018 when she started her career. For her to be nominated after the fact is it doesn't make much sense to me. In the same way that James Blake, one of my favorite musicians from the UK, was nominated for Best New Artist, and I think it was when he put out his sophomore album. And I'm just like, it's great that he's here because he's not as popular as say an Alessia Cara, but why is he still being nominated long after the fact? It doesn't make much sense to me. Dua Lipa won Best New Artist, and it was when she was on top of the world with New Rules. And and NPR should take credit for this because they got me into her music, and I believe her father is a famous musician as well. But just like the fact that she won over artists who didn't have as much runtime as her that whole year, it's like, yo, like I don't want the get the sense that like her label or like maybe her manager threw some money into like the Grammys pocket to say, yo, give her the award. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I want someone like I want the underdog to win every time, and maybe that's not possible. But if they're not going to be folks who are like literally new, there's no point to the award. You know, like I don't want someone from 5 years ago who came out to win Best New Artist, and I think that's just the extent of my hang up here. I'll be sure to drop a URL for like the article that Miss Anastasia wrote. There's some more notes about two Latinx Grammys, but I'm not too upset about those either because I feel like these are categories that aren't even televised. Like unless you're watching like the streamed version of the Grammys, you don't even hear about this unless you're looking on the website that day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you looking at over there?
I was looking at it. Something.
Something? So related,
No,
I hope?
I was just. I'm still listening. I'm just looking at other things on the internet.
I hope it's helpful to the show. We still have half an hour to go. I'll go ahead and get started on my last subject, and we can begin wrapping up. What do you think?
But we also have to talk about songs we recommended.
Well, I'm saving that for last. I'll probably finish this up. All right, let's move on to the Grammys. Wait, Grammys. Spotify. Let's move on to Spotify. My streaming service of choice. I
This
heard
is your
some.
pitch to try to get me to stream, right?
No, this isn't my time to like make you spend any more money on things. Besides, I've already decided that if you're finally going to join me here in streaming world, you'll probably be a better fit for Apple Music because you have an Apple phone and you're already spending so much more money on iTunes anyway. I have an article from Bloomberg.com about Spotify pledging to fight racism after a public rebuke. And without even reading the thing, this thing was written by Mr. Lucas Shaw on June 3rd. I was on Facebook and a friend of mine was talking about how, oh man, I really love YouTube Premium or no, the YouTube Music app. And I was like, why do you like that? It's clear to me that the YouTube Red app is more superior because it's just like the app you already use for free, but like with no ads, and you get to download videos so you can like turn off your screen without like the thing you're watching stopping. You know what I mean? And he's like, nah, that ain't it. That ain't it. And amidst the conversation, one of our acquaintances mentioned that like Spotify donated money to this current like presidential campaign, to a Mr. Donald. And I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense. They're from Sweden. Why would they be invested in our politics? And that made me feel some type of way about that. So I did a little more research, which is why I wanted to talk about Spotify today. It appears that like the rebuke was about just supporting black creators in this time where Black Lives Matter is seeing a lot more focus on their movement and such with all like the protests and like the killings of unarmed black folks. And so they've pledged $11 million to creators and labels and everybody else who has like a significant stake in the music industry and Spotify in general. So I'm hoping that this $11 million like it shifts like the conversation like because remember earlier I was talking about how artists who like make money selling their music digitally, they don't make too much back unless it's going straight to them, you know? Even with Bandcamp, they're gonna take a chunk, they gotta maintain the site. Same with Google Play, Amazon, especially iTunes themselves. So with like $11 million being tossed out at these folks, I'm like, how is that really gonna like affect the rest of the year and 2021 with the way that they do business? Because I've seen pictures of artists getting mail from Spotify and being like them being like ran royalties for less than like $10 for like a year's worth of streams, and I'm just like, this isn't the way to like sustain the industry, because here we have lots of artists, hundreds of artists, staying at home instead of like touring full time. So like if these services aren't going to like pick up the slack, what is there to be done? And that's just something I wanted to throw out there into the world. Like 11 million may seem like a lot of money to like a person like you or I, but like in the grand scheme of things in this industry that like keeps the world moving, you know, you're listening to music every day sometimes, like is it really going to make a dent? I hope that it does, because whoo boy, like if I knew that like something upwards of like over $10 million is coming towards my direction, I would probably jump for joy to say the least. So,
Okay,
Mr. Friedman, I want to bring the attention back to you.
Mr. Owens.
I recommended you a song called
Hey
Mystic
there.
Flute. What did you think of it?
Well, I couldn't off the top of my head tell you the title, but I did listen to it.
Neither could I. Neither could I. Like I try to like see if I know like the artist herself. Her name starts with a Z. Maybe I'll try and pull it back up while you're talking. Tell me what you thought of the song.
Um, it's a real short opinion. Um, it
Sure.
just didn't do anything for me.
You are lying to me. Seriously?
I mean, it was average. It was okay.
Average?
Average. Maybe we're not talking about the same song. Um, I don't.
Mystic
I
Flute?
don't recall. I don't recall hearing any flute either.
Oh my. Okay, so tell me. All right, let's get to the bottom of this. Average, this
Yeah.
man says. So when I sent you the link, like did I send you a YouTube link? Is that what I did? Now I've got to go back to our conversation. Tell me what you thought was
I think-
average, though.
Is that your question? Did you send it to me in a link? Because I think you did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I sent
Yeah,
it to you
you
on
did.
Facebook that afternoon. Did I send it to you? Was it a YouTube link, or did I send you the Bandcamp link?
This was a.
Let's see here.
No, let's see here. I'm going to look for you. This was, I believe it was a Bandcamp.
Gotta put the
Hold
glasses back
on,
on
almost
this. I gotta
there.
look at our conversation.
Yep, it was HTTPS Zalarmagasian Bandcamp.com. Yeah, it was okay. I'm not going to put that on my iPod,
my.
but I appreciate it, and let's just move on to the next songs that we recommend each other. I'm trying
Mr.
to
Freeman,
think.
you were impossible.
Maybe I need to give it a re-listen.
Yes, please.
I'll try. Yeah, I mean, not. I won't try. I'll do. A
Oh my gosh,
Star Wars
like-
reference. So what did you think about Ryan Wright's Plays
Well, this
by
is kind of
Monster
like,
Zero?
well, this is kind of ironic because I kind of feel the same way about your friend's song. Is he somebody that you know?
What's that?
Is this Monster Zero character? Is this somebody that you know?
No.
Huh? How did you find this person's music? Because they've only been they didn't make music for very long. Like the last thing they put out was like 2008, I believe.
I don't know. I have iTunes up, and I can look. But how I found out about them, someone passed it on to me, and I listened to. So you feel the same as I feel about your flute song.
Let me explain why though. I passed it on to a friend because like I feel like it would serve as like a really good bed. For,
Has
like, a commercial.
Robin heard this yet?
No, I haven't. I actually haven't passed that to him, but I will make sure I send both songs to him so he can choose the winner. Because there is no way we both think that they're both average. Like, I'm about to pull my hair out over here. I can't believe you thought it was an average record. No, but like the song was so short, and I'm just like, I feel that like it could have been. I feel like there was it felt like a demo in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there should have been more there.
I don't. let's keep stalling so I can think of my song that I recommend for you for next week, and you think of your song for me. Um,
Stalling.
yeah, someone passed it on to me, Monster Zero, and there is. I'm really stalling. I want to find out the year, and I really want to find out the something else. Um, and I should be more upset that you only find that average too, but um,
But do you see where
I
I'm coming
haven't really,
from?
I haven't really heard that song in a long time though. The Ryan Wrights plays. Um, I like how I brought up Monster Zero on iTunes, and it brings up things about Lady Gaga, who we talked about.
There's the
Um,
name of her fandom for crying out loud.
it brings up the Fame,
Mm,
uh, which was
the
her
Fame
first album.
monster.
A Star is Born, which is a remake of a movie with Barbara Streisand. Um, but the Grammy Award winning, I don't know if they won Progressive. No, I'm kidding. But
Get out of
no,
here.
she and Bradley Cooper were in that one. And then it also brings up her album, which I believe is either her second or third, Born This Way.
That was her sophomore rap. That was her sophomore. Yes.
That's what.
What?
What were you saying about Born This Way?
It's her sophomore. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. So anyway, Monster Zero. I'm finally bringing this up, probably because her
Re-release
fans
for
are
the first
called Little
album.
Monsters. Okay. So, Monster Zero Works for You is the album that this track comes from. That's
Yeah.
2010. Um, they have a they have an album from 2008. They have one from 2005, and that's the earliest. Their 2005 album is, and remember, this is iTunes. It's not the all be all answers here. Um, but uh, and then there were zero. Uh, so dot dot dot, and then there were zero. That's from 2005. But the album Monster Zero Works for You. That's the one. And I listened to it's 5 tracks, and
Yeah. It's an
Ryan Wright
EP.
played the last track. It is short. It is 144. Um, and I listened to the other 4 tracks. Uh, I did not like any of those other 4 tracks.
And this
I
and
like
somehow this
Ryan
one.
Wright's plays. And Ryan Wright's plays, if I remember correctly, because I think I remember this correctly, um, it's not the same sound as the other 4 tracks. But that's the track I like. So
You know what,
that's
Mr.
why I
Friedman?
recommended it to you.
You know what? It's like I've while we were like stalling for time, I have found the song I'm going to recommend to you. It actually is in the progressive rock vein. But before I get to that, I recall you from episode 1 saying how you want to like someday find work in the music industry. You're just not sure what that is yet. I think you would you even recommend how like, oh, maybe I could like be the person who selects songs for the, now that's what I call music compilations. I don't know if that job's for you, but what I do think, you might have a future in scoring films, because I recall when we were doing like the March Catterness, you the last 3 songs you recommended me. Well, one of the songs you recommended me was from a really old movie, and then you have that piano ballad by Carly Commando. And now with this
Yeah.
Ryan Wrights Plays record, it's like you're giving me a lot of bed kind of music. You know what I'm saying? Like things that really could just like propel a movie or a television show forward. You know what I mean? But somehow
Uh-huh.
I'm still missing the mark for you, and I'm so frustrated that I haven't found something that you really like. It's always just
Now
been,
this song that you recommended, the flute song, just to be clear, is not part of the project that you've given me that included Snarky Puppy and the one Blockhead.
Obviously
Um,
not. Definitely not.
that's a different project,
Not even
but
not even a project. It's just like I want to like always recommend stuff to you because I have so much music to share. But like,
yeah, I think of it as a project, and
okay,
I like to see the next entry. So I look forward to that. So
you are getting the next entry to finish listening until you finish watching all the live clips of the
yeah,
Snarky Puppy
yeah.
album.
So we have about 15 minutes, I guess, because we started 5 minutes later. It's 7:20, um,
To
and
be
so
honest, like
we could still ramble on, as
yeah,
Led
like
Zeppelin said.
we started late, but like we ran out of steam awfully fast this episode. It hasn't really happened to us in a while.
Um, let me drink some more water
I
here.
think I'll do the same. Cheers.
Um, but yeah, cheers. But if, do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I want to go first because I don't know if you've come to your. Have you found the song you want to recommend to me yet?
This is like the something I meant. No, I haven't. This is like something I mentioned in a previous article. Let me drink some more water.
More water.
Previous episode where I said, when you're with a group of friends or family and you're at a restaurant and you go, "Hey, you order first, and by the time you guys are finished, I'll have found something on the McDonald's menu." That's a joke, but anyway. So no, I have not. So bring up your song. You said it's a progressive song.
Yeah. When I was in high school, I'm gonna throw my. I'm gonna keep the sunglasses off for the rest of the episode. Y'all can see my face. You know what I look like. Um, I used to spend a lot of time on this website called PureVolume.com, so I could scour the internet for free music from like bands that I liked. And I love this one band in particular called Coheed and Cambria. It's
Yeah.
one of my favorite like light progressive bands.
Can I
And
say one thing?
what can you say?
I saw at the retail job a customer. I They didn't say it on their shirt that I saw, but I'm pretty sure they were wearing a Coheed and Cambria shirt.
Well, next time you see that customer, tell them to man their own jackhammer. He'll know what they're talking about. He'll know what you're talking about.
Okay. Even
Um,
though I won't know what I'm saying.
I'll even reference that stuff. Um,
Kenard made me say it.
yeah, right. Maybe I'll recommend that song to you next episode. It's an 8 minute song. I think it's very good in my opinion. I'm a super Coheed fan. You would say I'm one among the fans, and those who are in that fandom know exactly what I mean. But this band, Nye Horizon, they had a very they're very snappy dressers, and they have this one song called Stalling, and I liked it so much I bought it on iTunes, and
Is it
I
solid?
oh hmm
Is the song solid?
wait, what do you mean? What you
Didn't
mean?
you say the song was called Solid?
Stalling.
Spell it.
Stalling.
Kind of like what I've been doing throughout this episode.
Yes, and that's exactly why I referenced it. I'm like, you know what?
Okay.
That's a really great song. He might like this
Nice.
one because what is your pops? What was that band he loves so much from the Beatles of Baltimore? What was their name? Crack the Sky.
CTS, Crack the Sky.
Yeah, I still need to listen to those guys. But
And
I figure you both might enjoy this song that I'm going to recommend to you. There's just a lot.
okay.
There's some solo work going on. Great drums, great vocals. I'm not. That's all
I
I'm going to
did,
say.
by the way.
Huh?
I probably did talk about it, but I did kind of like this artist that was mentioned in the Mad Catterness.
Which one?
It was a live version that you sent me. It was like the last round, and it
Yeah.
was instrumental song.
Topska. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah. With
It
the
was progressive, kind of.
yeah, that jump knocked. It was a good song. I was
Okay,
listening to
so
one. I was
my
listening to one
turn.
of them. Yeah, you got one finally.
I'm working on it. I think I do. Uh,
Tell me the kind of field you're narrowing down, if you don't mind.
do let's stall a little bit more. We got about
Okay.
10 more minutes, right? We're doing 7:35, right?
If we finish at 7:30, it's okay with me. Like, I have to make a quick delivery, and I have to throw my mask on to do so.
Okay, so let's do it at 5 more minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
Before I
yeah.
find, while I'm looking for the song, where I'm figuring out a song, let me ask you: have you listened to Kirk DeGorgio,
Nope.
the
To be honest with
Giorgio?
to be honest with you, like listening to his work isn't really on my priority list. But if you really think that I should, maybe I'll just I'll download the first part of the 4-1 as one anthology and listen to that on the way to work tomorrow.
Okay, so I have the song,
Ah,
and
finally, let's go.
I am also going to say that this song is also going on the positive playlist.
Okay.
So I did finally add another song, even though I said we were just going to leave it with Steven Stills. So this song is called. Um, it's actually called. I'm stalling again. It's called. It's 4 words.
Mm-hmm.
It's called "Wings of a Dove,"
Wings of a
and
dove.
yeah, and then in parentheses, a celebratory song, and it's
Who's the
by the
artist?
group Madness.
Mad. Ah, the ska band.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know
they're
a little bit
cool.
about them.
Yeah, our house in the middle of the street.
Yeah, those lads.
Those lads. Wings of a Dove, a celebratory song by Madness, and that is another entry to the positive playlist. So
All right. Well, now we know our assignment for next episode. We'll have a what you'll
I
have a
have
little
a
bit of
lot of assignments.
you'll have a bit of a lighter load because our beloved guest host will be taking charge of all the topics but one. You know, the only one we'll really be bringing to the table is the Catr Chronicles, which is the new name for our new campaign. What do you think of it?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
I'm
like
a
it?
little confused because, well, I just said I'm a little confused. I've heard the word Chronicles like I told you this yesterday. When I think of Chronicles, I think of actually, which is an SNL reference. Um, there's a parody of the Chronicles of Narnia by Lazy Sunday, which was Andy Samberg and Chris Parnell, and they rapped about the Chronicles of
Ah, the
Narnia.
Lonely Island. Yeah,
Well, it was called Lazy Sunday
yeah,
because
the song. I
Parnell
remember the
is not
song.
Chris Parnell is not part of
Nah,
uh, the other group,
nah.
uh, but it was just him and I don't it was just him and and Andy Samberg like walking down the street rapping about. And so the Chronicles of Narnia, I guess it's the whole series. It's by C.S. Lewis. Um, and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, probably the most famous entry, is the first book. Prince Caspian is the second one, and so on and so forth. So that's another word. We talked about stipulation, um, and that was with the dictionary. That was one I was going to look up. It was about the Grammys, and I thought stipulation. I thought about it without having to look it up. I thought, hey, I know that word stipulation, even though I said I was going to look it up. I was like, maybe I don't need to. Stipulation kind of means um, like, you know what? We're almost done.
No, it's okay. I got it. I looked it up for you.
Okay.
See, here I am being the researcher. Not your researcher, but the researcher.
The
I may have to
ultimate.
change my name. Stipulation, according to the dictionary, is a noun. It is a condition or requirement that is specified or demanded as part of the agreement.
Did you say addition?
No, I said condition.
Oh, condition. Okay. I'm going to have to look up the word. No, I'm just kidding. So stipulation, and then I don't know why I brought that up because Chronicles.
Yeah, see?
Um, to me, when I think of the word Chronicles, I guess it means like series.
Yeah, but like this is like a it is like a series because like we're
Because it's
on
an
like
ongoing thing here,
yeah
listening to the.
exactly.
Yeah. All right. Well, on
All right,
that note,
so
we should wrap up.
yeah I want to make one final note
Okay.
in regards to all like you know like with all like the with a lot of like the protests and such still happening strongly all over the country. I want to bring up one of the victims that's been being who still needs justice, Miss Brianna Taylor, who was shot in
Yeah.
her home while she was sleeping.
Yes.
The officers who shot her, they were at the wrong house, and so the people responsible are still like walking around. And I'd like for them to like receive some sort of like what's the word I'm looking for here?
Justice.
Um, not but like and not even I don't even think punishment is the words I'm looking for. It's just like for making such like when you have that kind of job being a cop like you kind of have to be better than just good. You got to be almost perfect, you know, like those kind of like vital like fatal mistakes, like too many lives are lost when these kind of fatal mistakes are made. And since like the police who were responsible for her death aren't like charged or anything like that. I think one is, but we still have two more. um her like the fact that like that they weren't charged became sort of a meme, and I don't want the death of a black woman to become a meme, y'all. Like if you've ever seen like a meme about like getting like those cops arrested or convicted and such, don't like retweet it or like it. Let's discourage like like the death of innocence as a meme. Like it's far too soon. Like Brianna Taylor was my age, and like she had a very promising career ahead of her. Like she lived with a man that she loved. Like let's ease off that stuff if it's not too much to ask. That's all I want to say. I'd like to thank all the people who will be watching this. Like no live listens today, but probably when Aramde gets here, we'll have maybe like thousands of people. But if you're watching this now, wherever you might be in time or space, thank you. We love you. It's the summer, like I mentioned at the top of the episode. We've been drinking water. Make sure you're keeping hydrated. Make sure you're washing those hands, wearing gloves, wearing that mask if you're going to work. I hope you're getting some unemployment benefits or something. Educate yourself about everything that's going on in today's world, man. Like, I got into a bit of trouble on socials misunderstanding a joke that was said years ago, and I'm still getting like dog piled on Twitter because of it. I think I mentioned that I took an L, and when you take an L, when you take a loss, when you're wrong, accept it with grace. Don't be so abrasive. Don't be so quick to defend yourself. Like, the ones who love you will have your back. Like me and Mike, we love y'all. Thank you so much. Happy Pride, Black Lives Matter. Mike, let's say goodbye to the people.
Bye.
Adios, y'all. Thanks again. We'll see you on episode 14.